This is your First Alert Weather Breakdown, a deep dive into how weather works with meteorologist Evan Thomason.
Welcome on to the First Alert Weather Breakdown. Meteorologist Evan Thomason coming at you here in just a moment. But let's look at our first alert Doppler radar. First and foremost, this is what we're continuing to watch here, especially we had some good storms hit last night. Even a few little storms hitting us this morning, too. For those of you with us, about an hour ago, we did have a good cell that has been moving eastward across the Arclitex, but if you noticed, it's kind of now disintegrated. Let's take a look at that on the radar loop. There you saw it when it was a lot more healthy, but especially in the last hour or so, it is rapidly drying things up here very quickly. And so now on the current radar picture, we mainly just have a little bit of lingering light rain left on I-49 in between Shreveport and Texarkana. That's kind of what we're dealing with here for the day today. Just stray little scraps and pieces of the rain from yesterday. Even a few little tiny rain pieces around Natchitoches and Natchitoches Parish right now. One on the southern end of Coshada too. So this is pretty much what we're dealing with here for the day today. We thought it could be a little more organized here for tomorrow. Yes, we got more storms here for tomorrow as well. Before we finally look to dry things up around here, at least for a brief moment in time. There's a lot to go over in the First Alert Weather Breakdown. You might already have lots of questions. I don't blame you, all right? Welcome on again to the First Alert Weather Breakdown. I am meteorologist Evan Thomason. Welcome on to the show. It is Friday. Thank goodness. I get to stretch around. It's the end of the work week. Loosen up a little bit, so to speak. You get the point. I do the morning shows here at KSLA News 12 and maybe get a little too loose. It's my hair getting a little out of place there. But anyways, welcome on to the First Alert Weather Breakdown, where we talk about the weather forecast a lot more in store. And we're just much more relaxed talking about the forecast here for you. We're a little more at ease. We get to talk a lot more. We get to have I won't say all the time we want, but you get the point. We get to be a little more laid back with how we deliver the weather here in a way. We still give you all the info, but I'm not in a rush to get things done in time before said commercial breaks or things of that matter. The point is I'm not time constrained to this. So, again, we're here. The point is we give you a full glimpse and full look at the weather forecast, and we make sure we don't go over any points too quickly. We make sure we tackle all the points of the weather forecast as well. We go over the entire nitty-gritty details that we frankly just do not have time for in the typical TV shows. For example, I can tell you the simple pattern of it's going to rain a little over the next few days, then we'll have a little break, then we're going to have lots of rain. And that's most of my big weather forecast. And that's all I have time for. Obviously, I tell you what specific days they happen on. I'll get to that a little bit later, but we get to go into the, a little more detail, thorough detail on how is this happening? When is this exactly likely to happen? What are we expecting with severe weather threats? How much rain are we getting? That kind of thing. Those kind of questions, again, are all answered here on the First Alert Weather Breakdown. But hey, I am looking forward to a weekend. I don't know about you, but let's get there. Speaking of the weekend, we have that forecast for you in store, mostly on the First Alert Weather Breakdown for our local forecast here for the day today. We'll be talking about the weekend and also storms creeping back into next work week as well. Meanwhile, our exclusive topic is also looking at the weekend forecast, but it's looking at it more from a regional standpoint for those of you traveling outside of the Arclitex. That's what I try to get a little bit hyped up for on your Friday. I know a bunch of people are traveling around the Arclitex, traveling outside the Arclitex. Wherever you happen to be going, we're giving a forecast for it here on for your Saturday and Sunday. So let's get straight into it. All right, back to our first alert Doppler picture as I gain control of my graphics here. Let's get a good look outside at what we are taking a look at, and let me help myself by removing this little bug right here so you can see myself entirely. There we go. Window road camera in Texarkana. It's a beautiful sight. It could be certainly more beautiful. We had a lot more sunshine out on it. Thankfully, not much rain at all, just kind of a little gloomy, a little cloudy in for the day today. It's been over the past couple of days. Meanwhile, live look at our downtown Shreveport, Shreveport camera here. I know it features a pole, but to be fair, we don't look in this direction often. Let's look at I-20 just to the west side of downtown. I was actually taking a look at a traffic accident there earlier. Looks like that's cleared up nicely, which is good. But point still stands. In fact, we're actually getting a little more sunshine in the areas around Shreveport here at this time, which is nice to see. And I think we'll lead ourselves into some mostly sunny skies in time for this afternoon. Watch out for Mount Pleasant and Texarkana. Some of those areas are already starting to face a little bit of sunshine here for the day today. Meanwhile, a lot more cloud cover is in store for those of you in the southern half of the Arklatex right now. Natchitoches Center still getting abundant cloud cover at this time. Let's go into temperature. 72 in Shreveport, 66 in Idabel. A little bit of a range here as we, again, have 66 in Idabel, where we have 75 in Natchitoches, 77 in Florine, 68, meanwhile, in Center, 70 in Carthage, 73 in Minden. And keep in mind, it's just 10:30, so temperatures are very comfortable for now, but they're about to get a little more into sweating weather later on today. And if you think today's warm, you got another thing coming for you here for this weekend. We'll get to more on that here in just a second. Again, another quick look at that first alert Doppler radar, where we're mostly dry. A few little sprinkles and some cells just outside of the east and west sides of the Arklatex. But overall, most of our wet weather is thankfully drying up, which is going to allow us to part ways with a good amount of cloud cover, especially in for this afternoon. Part the seas, part the skies. You get the gist. We'll get highs today as a result, increasing. Highs will feel a little more warmer today and this afternoon compared to yesterday afternoon by only a few degrees. It won't be that drastic of a change, but highs will be in the mid-80s here for the day today, and then they continue on the upward trend by the time before we get into the high temperatures for Saturday and Sunday. Saturday morning, you're waking up temperatures again in the 60s, then heading into tomorrow afternoon and also into Sunday afternoon. Some of those high temperatures could be roaring up into the mid to upper 80s for you then. So, want to keep your first alert. Again, it's just a baby crawl of an increase, so to speak, for the temperatures. Our peak appears to be on Monday, which will be when we probably have the most sunshine out around the Arklatex. In fact, I'm expecting a fully sunny day on that day, free of any wet weather. So maybe that's why it's the warmest day of the entire forecast. 90 degrees is the high on Monday. All right, so let's get into the future track. Again, we're tracking on to some of these storms just continuing to disappear into around lunchtime. And if you notice into the afternoon, a good amount of the cloud cover also tends to disappear. Now, the only chance of little showers I think that we have for the rest of Friday is down by Nacogdoches, Hemp Hill, Natchitoches, that kind of area. I'm going to go back on the future track here so you can track on some of these cells again, just very quickly forming. Looks like around the late afternoon and evening hours. Right around Nacogdoches and Hemp Hill. Besides that, looks like the rest of the Arklatex stays fairly dry here for the rest of your Friday. But that's Friday. We got another round coming here for your Saturday. More isolated chances of storms then. So let's get into it. Saturday morning, if you notice, it's kind of the similar morning that we had again this morning. Muggy, saturated, and thus results in warm temperatures trapped into the ground. That's why, again, you're waking up temperatures once more in the 60s. So it stays cloudy. I think that's going to be a big change here for the day tomorrow, even up until noon. A lot more vast cloud cover, especially around the northern half of the Arklatex here for that time frame. Then you get into Saturday late afternoon and Saturday evening. That's where we could face some storms. I got about a 30% chance of storms locally in Shreveport. I'd say I'd have greater rain chances for those of you in the northern half of the Arklatex, where we could actually get a substantial downpour with this system. Again, keep in mind, look at the timing. This starts earliest by 4 p.m. tomorrow, so this is mostly going to affect your nighttime plans here for your Saturday evening, nighttime, and late afternoon plans here for your Saturday. If you have something Saturday morning, Saturday during the midday hours, I think you should be fine. And that's going to continue to southwestern Arkansas for Saturday night, with maybe a stray shower or two hitting areas like Shreveport, Natchitoches, anywhere around that area. The storms actually continue on into Sunday morning before, again, as I kind of just mentioned a little bit, we thankfully dry things out fully for the most part on Sunday. Speaking of that, next 4 days, no chance of severe storms. I really wanted to pinpoint that here for the storms here for both today and tomorrow. I'm not expecting severe weather threats in for either system. Unlike the system that's coming next week. Tuesday, that's when we could start to bring back severe storms into the Arklatex. There's a look at our next weather maker, which will be coming in again for the bulk of next work week. Timing, Still iffy. As of right now, the bullseye for the timing is, well, I'm not going to spoil it just yet. I'll have that future track coming up here for you in just a moment. But overall, this looks to be our next major cold front coming on by. This is going to cool us down from that high on 90 on Monday down to highs potentially into the 70s here as we creep on into the solid portion of next week. So, yeah, watch out for that. As for severe weather threats, so to speak, I think anything is possible. Tornadic threat, flash flooding, hail, all of that is potentially on the table here with this system coming on through. So let's look at the long-range future track again for today and tomorrow. Just stray little bits and pieces of rain possible in the region before one full dry day on Sunday and Monday. And then we get into Sunday. Then we get into Monday. Monday, scattered storms hitting the, looks like northern and western portions of the Arctic for you then. Before Wednesday, it's going to look to be a lot more widespread. I noticed the little bit concerning factor here is the fact that we don't just have a normal shade of green with this precipitation map, essentially. But we're looking at shades of yellow and red, which indicates some of these storms could be severe and could bring us some really torrential downpours in for you then. So that's what we're watching out for heading into next work week. Hopefully things dry out by Thursday. All right, so let's get into the rain amounts. Most of this is around the northern half of the Arctic, which, granted, most of the future track continues to track on this kind of line that lingers around areas like Idabel, McCurtain County, northeast Texas, and southwestern Arkansas. Remember, that hits tomorrow on Saturday, and it's most likely to hit and kind of linger in that same area for Tuesday night before finally progressing through the rest of the region. So that's kind of how it works again. So for those of you who don't understand, again, Tuesday night, the storm could come on through, and it's expected to come on through mainly in the areas which are getting the most amount of rain. Meanwhile, the regions that are getting rain, period, looks like most of that's going to happen on Wednesday in and of itself. So almost like an extra day of rain for those of you, again, in the north of I-30, essentially. All right, for your travel forecast, Saturday, it's looking okay. Sunday, looking all right / good. I'd say it's looking good, fair, but not great. So let's describe both of those conditions, shall we? 30% chance of storms here for your Saturday. As we mentioned in that future track, and let you saw in that future track, again, most of the storms look to be in the northern half of the Arctic. Somewhere in the late afternoon to evening hours then. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. Meanwhile, Sunday, it does look to be hot. I think that's the only concerning factor, though. High of 88 degrees. That could be a little rough for some of you trying to get outside on that day, but notice how is the day with the least chance of rain. In fact, that 10% chance of rain on Sunday is mainly for Sunday early morning. Just looking at some cells trying to drag their way slowly but surely across the Arctic, and they finally leave, but not until, say, the mid-morning hours on Sunday. So we'll keep you first alert the closer we get into that time frame. Meanwhile, let's give you a summary of how this is looking out. Again, today and tomorrow, rain chances are low. They are not zero, but thankfully they're lower, which is good throughout the region. Sunday and Monday, pretty much zero. It's good to at least enjoy one day of the weekend. Then you get into next week, and that's when we run into real trouble. Moderate and high chances of rain linger on in for the Arctic for your use for you there. I had a brain fart. Excuse me. Anyways, high of 86 today, up to 90 for Monday on your 7-day forecast. Little spotty chances of rain again here for the rest of the day and tomorrow. You want to stress that out as well. Sunday and Monday are your mostly dry days. Always up to, again, 90 degrees by Monday before cooling down to the 70s for the middle of next week. And most of that's thanks to a powerful cold front that's going to be giving us those widespread storms, which are likely to target on Wednesday, but it could fluctuate a little bit heading into next week. So we'll keep you first alert, obviously, on that. And yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens out of next week's storms, because this week, well, yeah, it's best to leave it at that. Anyways, all right, let me get to a quick break. I'm going to take a quick drink of coffee, try to wake myself up. Hopefully you enjoyed the forecast. Hopefully it was good. But anyways, I'll be back I'll be right after this. Stick around. We'll take a look at the regional travel forecast when we come back. Welcome back to the First Look Weather Breakdown. I'm meteorologist Evan Thomason. Sorry. Oh man, I forgot to put up the "We will be right back" screen. So you're probably. Whoops. It's been that kind of a Friday. Oh man, but most of you were just seeing me here with my head off to the side, looking at something else. And I forgot to put the "We will be back" screen. We will be right back screen. I forgot to put that up. Whoops. I did send it to commercial break. I do see that. But sorry about that. Anyways, regional travel forecast. Let's get into it. Here in the Arklatex. So let's see what we're looking at here regionally for those of you traveling outside of the Arklatex here for your weekend. Again, we do have a slim chance of rain here locally in the Arklatex for Saturday. I think most of Sunday is going to be fine. It's going to be dry. Let's see if anywhere else in the Arklatex is hanging around with those similar conditions here for their weekend. For those of you traveling around. So IR satellite is just tracking on to just so many of these little waves of moisture continuing to come on by, mainly because we continue to have a low pressure system just off to the west side, mainly in northern Texas here right now. It's rotating some of those rain storms and rain systems around it. The last one that tried to come through the Arklatex earlier this morning, that's pretty much completely disintegrated here by now. There's another one, though, that's moving through southern Oklahoma that's trying to make its way south and east as well. Future tracks pointing at that disintegrating, too. Most of everything should be fading away, and overall, I don't think there's a huge problem with storms, at least severe storms here for the day today, which is good. Again, storms moving south of Oklahoma City at the moment, and storms are just about to move into Jackson in Mississippi, and most of that's all widespread across western Mississippi here at the moment. So let's take a look at the future track. And actually, I got to go into this here for just a second and zoom out. There we go. This is going to show not only the forecast here for this weekend around these areas, but this will also show just a quick glimpse into what you can expect in other areas. So here for the rest of your Friday, it looks like most of the rain is going to be focused out towards Mississippi and with one system, and looks like most of that rain in southern Oklahoma kind of moves into Dallas and Texas overall, to Texas farther west of the Arklatex, and kind of just camps there into Friday night. That's the storms that we could be watching out for here locally into the Arklatex here for your Saturday. Most of that storm coverage, if you see, kind of looks to hit the Texas, top of Texas, northern Texas, and also hit Oklahoma for you then, too. Also, maybe Kansas getting in on some of that rain action as well. Then we get on into Sunday, and this, I think, when that high-pressure system's really going to start to bury itself in, regionally, that is. By Sunday afternoon, most of the region is dry. If you notice, we'll go over some of those areas not dry, and I think maybe we'll get a few little stray showers in for Sunday afternoon, looks like around Arkansas, and some of that even could carry into Monroe for for Monday morning. So watch out for that. Meanwhile, we got more storms on the way for next work week, pretty much anywhere, not just the Arklatex, but we got more storms creeping on into the forecast. So let's put this into words and put this into writing here for you. So again, for right now, it's mainly raining out in Jackson, all across Mississippi, and southern Oklahoma. But it's isolated pretty much to those two areas. Other regional areas of the Arklatex just getting mainly a good amount of cloud cover and staying warm and muggy underneath, temperatures in the 70s in those areas. Then you get into Friday, highs in the mid-80s. We got chances of storms in Shreveport. We also got chances of storms along the coastline. Houston, New Orleans, looking to get some chances of storms there, and also around Jackson as well. So it's not something to watch out for in those vicinities. Meanwhile, high temperatures here for your Saturday. High temperatures, if you notice, still remain the same between this afternoon into Saturday afternoon. Highs in the mid-80s, and it looks like most of us will remain dry here for the most part in for your Saturday. And I think that might even carry on into Sunday as well. Let's see. Maybe a little bit of rain showers coming into Little Rock, it looks like. Just the northern edge of the deep south here. In for your Sunday. But besides that, everybody else is looking to have a fantastic weekend. Highs in the mid-80s here for most of us. 88, though, projected for Monroe on Sunday. But regardless, it's looking like a warm weekend. But I think first of all, let me stress this out. This is not going to be a washout by any means. Absolutely not. We're just expecting maybe a stray few showers if you're lucky. Overall, you could be dry, quite frankly, for the next 4 days. And it's not just you again. It's most of our regional Arklatex area, as our system is slowly kind of rebuilding itself for what's to come. Yeah, so. All right, that's your weekend travel forecast here. Coming back, we'll have a quick review, and we'll look forward to the weekend forecast really quick really quick with a summary. All that and more, and we'll get some hints on what's happening next week on the First Look Weather Breakdown. Coming up next. All right, welcome on back to the First Alert Weather Breakdown. I'm meteorologist Evan Thomason here in the Weather Center. Again, thanks for watching Friday's edition. Hopefully you can look forward to a mostly beautiful weekend. Again, don't be surprised if rain showers do happen, especially here locally in the Arklatex on Saturday. Some of them could bring some heavy rainfall at times. Don't be wary of that. But overall, I would not call this weekend a washout by any means. Now, some of our grounds could be, little. Would I say the grounds are a little washed out? They certainly are holding lots of wet weather and water themselves at this time, which is a little worrisome. But I don't think the rain that we get from this weekend alone should be too troublesome. Again, mainly just watching out for the storms. According to the Future Track, a main good line of storms is hitting tomorrow evening and tomorrow night across the northern half of the Arklatex up into Texarkana. Here for the most part, but that could extend down to Shreveport as well. Just stay weather aware about that here for the day tomorrow. And then I think once we reach the mid-morning hours on Sunday, we're in the clear, which means clear of rain, and we get to enjoy 2 full dry days without checking the radar, which is nice. Unfortunately, we do have the chance for severe storms returning next work week. I will be all on that on Monday's episode of First Alert Weather Breakdown and Monday period when I come into work. But as for the weekend, just watch out for a stray few storms, but nothing should be severe here from Saturday and Sunday, which is good. Very good. All right, again, thanks for watching the First Alert Weather Breakdown. Also, claps to CJ Cartledge, meteorologist CJ Cartledge, for filling in for me earlier this week, 3 days work week. I know we're kind of making this a half and half chore. I wouldn't say chore. It's not a chore at all. I love doing this. We're slowly integrating this for him to do half the shows and me to do the other half. But still, props to him for being able to create his own content and really kind of excel now, the First Alert Weather Breakdown. I think he's now finally feeling comfortable in this seat. So that's really great to see here for him. Next week, he will be doing 2 podcasts. Next week, I believe he will be on the Tuesday and Wednesday episodes of First Alert Weather Breakdown. You will see me on Monday still. First Alert Weather Breakdown. We don't have episodes, obviously, on the weekend. We'll be back at 10:30. Wednesday, we're going to go over a drought monitor. We haven't gone over that in ages, and I know what you're thinking. Well, is there much of a drought monitor, period? Or is there much of a drought monitor to look at all? And the answer is always yes, especially when it comes to First Alert Weather Breakdown. Especially because we haven't looked at the drought monitor since last summer, I believe, on the First Alert Weather Breakdown. So first time in ages we're looking at it. I'm expecting it to be fairly good. But the question from there will be, how do we keep it good? Or are we getting too much? Because remember, we were going over a few river flood warnings here yesterday on the First Alert Weather Breakdown. If you didn't catch that, you can rewatch the episode on the First Alert Weather Breakdown tab on KSLA.com. I think that's all I got. Have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday. I'll know more about severe storms then, but for now, enjoy the mostly quiet weekend. Again, still make sure you're weather aware here for tomorrow night with those storms coming on through, but watch out. And have a great rest of your Friday. I will see you again Monday, 10:30. Have a fantastic weekend, please. Make some good plans. Enjoy the sunshine. And I will see you all on Monday at 10:30. Peace out. Stay weather aware.